So let's talk about Cape Town. You see, every family has that one person who started it all, the matriarch, the one everyone calls mom. In South Africa, that's Cape Town. We call it the mother city. Why? Well, it's because this is where the story of modern South Africa really began. It was the first European settlement in the country, the place where everything kicked off. It's like the original home base. Before there was Johannesburg with its gold, or Pretoria with its government buildings, there was Cape Town, sitting right at the bottom of Africa, welcoming ships and new people. It's the oldest city in the country, the place that gave birth to the nation we know today. This amazing city is located on the southwest coast of South Africa. Imagine the giant continent of Africa tapering down to a point. Well, Cape Town is right there, nestled on a beautiful peninsula. It's where two massive oceans meet, the cold Atlantic and the warmer Indian Ocean. This unique spot has made it super important for centuries. Ships traveling from Europe to Asia needed a place to stop, rest, and get fresh supplies. Cape Town was that perfect pit stop. It was like the world's most scenic truck stop, but for giant sailing ships. This location didn't just make it important for trade, it also made it a place where cultures from all over the world would eventually meet and mix. Being the mother city means it holds a lot of history, both good and bad. It's the place where different worlds collided for the first time in this part of the world. It's where the first vineyards were planted, where the first formal roads were laid, and where the first big conflicts over land took place. The name itself carries the weight of this long and complicated history. It's a reminder that this city has seen it all. It has seen the arrival of ships, the rise and fall of colonial powers, the pain of segregation, and the hope of a new united nation. It's a city that has grown and changed, but it never forgets where it came from. So when you hear someone call it the Mother City, you know it's not just a cute nickname. It's a title earned through centuries of history. It represents the city's role as the foundation of the country. It's a place of beginnings, a starting point for so many stories that make up the rich tapestry of South Africa. From this one spot on the map, a whole nation grew, with all its complexities, its beauty, and its challenges. And just like any good mother, Cape Town has a lot of stories to tell, and it wears its age with a certain kind of grace and undeniable beauty. It stands as a testament to resilience and the enduring spirit of a place that has always been a crossroads for the world. You can't talk about Cape Town without talking about the big guy in the room, Table Mountain. Seriously, it's not just a mountain, it's the heart and soul of the city. It's this massive, flat-topped rock that just looms over everything, in the best way possible. It's so iconic that you see it from almost anywhere in the city. Imagine waking up every morning and seeing this majestic ancient mountain watching over you. It's like having a giant, silent guardian. The city itself is built around its base in a natural amphitheater known as the City Bowl. This layout means that nature is never far away. It's right there, part of the city's DNA. To the sides of Table Mountain you have other famous peaks like Lion's Head and Devil's Peak. Together they form this incredible mountain range that cradles the city. Below the mountains, the city spills out towards the ocean, creating some of the most beautiful bays you'll ever see. There's Table Bay, where the main port is located, and further down the coast, you find False Bay, which is warmer and home to charming seaside towns like Simonstown and Kalk Bay. This mix of mountains and sea is what makes Cape Town's geography so spectacular. You can be hiking in a forest one minute and then be on a sandy beach the next. It's a playground created by nature. The city itself is a collection of diverse neighborhoods, each with its own vibe. The City Bowl is the central business district, where you find the tall buildings, government offices, and bustling streets. Then you have areas like the Bokop, famous for its brightly colored houses and unique Cape Malay culture. It's a photographer's dream and a place full of history. Head over the mountain and you'll find the southern suburbs, which are leafy, quiet, and home to many families and the university. And then there are the Atlantic seaboard suburbs like Camps Bay and Clifton, where you find stunning beaches and luxurious homes clinging to the mountainside. This layout, dictated by the mountain and the sea, means that Cape Town isn't just one single monotonous city. It's a series of interconnected villages and communities, each with its own character. You can drive for 20 minutes and feel like you're in a completely different world. From the trendy cafes in the city center to the laid-back surf spots in Muizenberg, the landscape shapes the lifestyle. The mountain isn't just a backdrop, it's an active part of life. People hike it, climb it, take cable cars to the top, and use it as a landmark to find their way around. It's the constant, steady presence in a city that is always moving and changing. Cape Town's weather is one of its biggest selling points. The city has what they call a Mediterranean climate. What does that mean? It means you get warm, dry summers and mild, wet winters. Think of places like Greece or southern Italy. That's the kind of vibe we're talking about. The summers from about November to February are just glorious. The sun is out, the skies are blue, and it's perfect weather for hitting the beach, having a barbecue, we call it a braai, or exploring the outdoors. It's the time when the city truly comes alive and everyone, from locals to tourists, is out soaking up the sunshine. But there's another famous feature of Cape Town's weather: the wind. Oh, the wind. We have a wind called the Cape Doctor. It's a strong southeasterly wind that blows during the summer. They call it the Doctor because it blows away all the pollution and smog, leaving the air fresh and clean. It can be a bit of a nuisance sometimes, especially if you're trying to have a picnic on the beach and your sandwich suddenly takes flight. But honestly, it's part of the city's character. You learn to live with it. You learn which beaches are sheltered from the wind on any given day. It's all part of the local knowledge. The winters from June to August are the opposite. They are cooler and wetter. This is when the city gets most of its rainfall. The rain is much needed as it fills up the dams and keeps the landscape green and lush. It's not a harsh, freezing winter like you might find in Europe or North America. It's mild, with temperatures that are still quite pleasant during the day. This is the time when the waterfalls on Table Mountain start flowing, and the fields in the nearby winelands turn a vibrant green. It's a different kind of beauty. A cozier, more introspective time in the mother city. This amazing climate makes Cape Town a fantastic place to visit almost any time of the year. If you love the sun and the beach, summer is your time. If you prefer cooler weather for hiking and exploring the wine farms without the crowds, then spring or autumn is perfect. Even in winter, there are plenty of sunny days between the rainy ones. This predictable, pleasant climate is a huge reason why agriculture, especially winemaking, thrives in the region. The grapes get all the sun they need in the summer to become sweet, and the winter rains give them the water they need to grow. It's a perfect recipe, both for wine and for a great holiday. The story of modern Cape Town starts with a ship. In 1652, a Dutchman named Jan van Riebeeck arrived in Table Bay. He wasn't there to start a new country. His mission was much simpler. He worked for the Dutch East India Company, the VOC, a massive trading company, and they needed a supply station. They needed a place where their ships, on the long and dangerous journey to Asia, could stop for fresh water, vegetables, and meat. So, Van Riebeeck and his team set up a small fort and a garden. This little refreshment station was the seed from which the entire city of Cape Town would grow. It was the beginning of a permanent European presence in the region. Of course, the Dutch were not the first people here. The land was already home to the indigenous Khoikhoi and San people. For centuries, these groups had lived a nomadic life, herding cattle and hunting in the Cape. The arrival of the Europeans marked a dramatic and often tragic turning point. At first, there was some trade between the Dutch and the Khoikhoi, but soon conflicts over land and resources began. The Dutch settlement expanded, pushing the original inhabitants off their ancestral lands. This early period was defined by this clash of cultures and the beginning of a long history of dispossession and struggle for the indigenous people of the Cape. To work on the farms and build the new settlement, the Dutch needed labor, so they started importing slaves. These people came from all over the world, from other parts of Africa like Madagascar and Mozambique, and from Asia, particularly Indonesia, India, and Sri Lanka. This forced migration brought a huge diversity of cultures, languages, and religions to the Cape. These enslaved people, along with the local Khoikhoi and the European settlers, formed the basis of a new, mixed-race society. The Cape Malay culture, for example, with its unique food, music, and religion, grew directly from the community of slaves brought from Southeast Asia. Later on, other European powers came into the picture. The French Huguenots, who were Protestants fleeing persecution in France, arrived and brought with them their knowledge of winemaking, which kick-started the famous Cape wine industry. Then came the British. After a bit of back-and-forth fighting with the Dutch, the British took control of the Cape in the early 1800s. They made English the official language and brought their own laws and customs. This mix of Dutch, indigenous, slave, French, and British influences created the incredibly complex and multicultural society that Cape Town is today. It's a history of trade, conflict, exploitation, and resilience, all layered on top of each other. Walking through Cape Town is like, well, walking through a history book where the buildings are the pages, The city's architecture tells the story of all the different people who have shaped it over the centuries. You can see the Dutch influence in the oldest parts of the city. Look for buildings with distinctive gables, those fancy curly-shaped tops on the front of the buildings. This style is called Cape Dutch architecture. You can see beautiful examples of this not just in the city, but especially on the old wine farms in areas like Stellenbosch and Constantia. These elegant whitewashed buildings are a direct link to the first European settlers. Then came the British, and they brought their own style with them. During the Victorian and Edwardian eras, they built grand public buildings, like the Houses of Parliament and the City Hall. These structures are much more formal and imposing, with red brick, intricate ironwork and stately columns. They were designed to project a sense of power and permanence, to show that the British Empire was here to stay. You can see this style all over the central business district. The mix of the quaint Cape Dutch and the grand British styles side by side shows you the different layers of the city's colonial history. But Cape Town's architecture isn't just about the Europeans. In the Bo-Kaap, the houses tell a different story. These small, terraced houses were originally built for the artisans and freed slaves of the Cape. Over time, the residents started painting their homes in incredibly bright, vibrant colors: pinks, greens, blues, oranges. The story goes that this was an expression of freedom and identity, especially after the end of slavery. Today, the Bo-Kaap is a symbol of the city's unique Cape Malay heritage, and its colorful streets are one of the most photographed sights in Cape Town. These simple houses, made beautiful by their residents, tell a powerful story of resilience and culture. As the city has grown and modernized, new architectural styles have been added to the mix. Today, you'll see sleek, modern skyscrapers made of glass and steel standing next to historic buildings. There has been a big push to preserve the city's architectural heritage. So many of the old buildings have been carefully restored and given new life as hotels, restaurants, and museums. The V&A waterfront is a great example of this. It was once a working harbor, but it has been redeveloped into a vibrant hub of shopping and entertainment, all while keeping the historic harbor buildings intact. This blend of old and new is what makes Cape Town's cityscape so dynamic and interesting. Cape Town is truly a rainbow city, a term often used to describe South Africa as a whole. The people of Cape Town are incredibly diverse, a direct result of its long and complex history. You have people whose ancestors were the original Khoikhoi and San inhabitants. You have people descended from the various European settlers, the Dutch, the British, the French, the Germans, and you have a large and vibrant community known as the colored people, whose heritage is a unique mix of all of these groups, plus the enslaved people brought from Africa and Asia. This community in particular has deep roots in Cape Town and has shaped its culture in countless ways. Because of this incredible mix, you hear a lot of different languages on the streets of Cape Town. While English is widely spoken, especially in business and tourism, it's not the only language. Afrikaans is also very common. Afrikaans is a unique language that evolved here in the Cape, starting as a simplified version of Dutch, but then borrowing words from Malay, Portuguese, and various African languages. For many colored and white Capetonians, it is their first language. You will also hear isiXhosa, which is one of the most widely spoken indigenous languages in South Africa. It's the language of the Xhosa people, many of whom migrated to the city from the Eastern Cape. Religion is another area where you see the city's diversity. Christianity is the most widespread religion, with many different denominations, from the Dutch Reformed Church to Anglican and Catholic churches. But Cape Town also has a significant and long-standing Muslim community, especially in the Bo-Kaap. Islam was brought to the Cape by the slaves and political exiles from Southeast Asia, and it has been an important part of the city's cultural fabric for centuries. You will also find a historic Jewish community with beautiful synagogues in the city, as well as Hindus, Buddhists, and people who follow traditional African beliefs. This religious tolerance is a key feature of the city's character. This blend of people, languages, and faiths is what gives Cape Town its unique flavor. It's in the food, which can be anything from a traditional braai to a spicy Cape Malay curry. It's in the music, which ranges from the smooth sounds of Cape jazz to the energetic rhythms of local pop music. It's a city where different worlds meet and mingle every day. While this diversity has not always been a source of harmony, especially during the painful years of apartheid, it is now celebrated as one of the city's greatest strengths. It's a place where you can experience a little piece of the whole world, all within the shadow of one magnificent mountain. You can't understand modern Cape Town without understanding apartheid. It was a system of racial segregation enforced by the government from 1948 to 1994. Apartheid means apartness in Afrikaans, and that's exactly what it was designed to do: keep people of different races separate and unequal. Under this system, people were classified into racial groups: white, colored, Indian, or black. Where you could live, what school you could go to, what job you could have, and even who you could marry were all determined by your race. White people were given all the power and privileges, while everyone else was treated as second-class citizens. In Cape Town, apartheid had a devastating impact. One of the most infamous acts was the destruction of District 6. This was a vibrant, mixed-race neighborhood near the city center, famous for its lively culture and community spirit. In 1966, the apartheid government declared it a whites-only area. Over 60,000 people were forcibly removed from their homes and moved to soulless, segregated townships on the outskirts of the city, an area known as the Cape Flats. Their homes in District 6 were bulldozed. Today it remains a scar on the city, a large, mostly empty piece of land that serves as a powerful reminder of the injustices of the past. The fight against apartheid was long and difficult, and Cape Town was a center of resistance. Many activists, including famous leaders like Nelson Mandela, were imprisoned on Robben Island, a small island just off the coast of Cape Town. For decades, this island was a symbol of oppression, but it was also a place where the leaders of the anti-apartheid movement educated each other and planned for a future free from racial discrimination. The resistance took many forms, from peaceful protests and marches to underground political organizing. The people of Cape Town, from all backgrounds, played a crucial role in the struggle for freedom and equality. The end of apartheid in the early 1990s brought massive changes to Cape Town. The discriminatory laws were abolished, and in 1994, South Africa held its first ever democratic election where everyone could vote. Nelson Mandela became the first president of a free South Africa. Since then, Cape Town has been on a journey of transformation. The city government is now integrated, and there are efforts to address the inequalities created by apartheid. It's not a perfect process, and many challenges remain. The spatial segregation of apartheid is still visible today, with wealthy suburbs and poor townships. But there is a commitment to building a more inclusive and equitable city for all its residents, turning the page on a painful chapter of its history. Cape Town has a strong and diverse economy that acts as the economic hub for the entire Western Cape province. One of its oldest and most important assets is its port. The Port of Cape Town is located in Table Bay and has been a vital link for international trade for centuries. Today, it's one of the busiest ports in South Africa. It handles all sorts of cargo, from containers filled with goods from around the world to fresh fruit and wine being exported from the Cape winelands. The port is a major employer and a key driver of the regional economy. It's the modern-day version of the refreshment station that started it all. Beyond the port, Cape Town has a number of other important industries. The city is a major center for finance, insurance, and real estate. Many big companies have their headquarters here. There is also a growing tech industry, with a thriving ecosystem of startups and established tech firms, earning it the nickname Silicon Cape. The manufacturing sector is also significant, with industries producing everything from clothing and textiles to food and beverages. The agricultural sector in the surrounding areas is also crucial, with the world-famous wine industry and fruit farming being major contributors to the economy and major employers for the region. Of course, one of the biggest engines of Cape Town's economy is tourism. Millions of visitors from all over the world flock to the mother city every year, drawn by its stunning natural beauty, rich history, and vibrant culture. This creates a huge number of jobs in hotels, restaurants, tour companies, and shops. The city has invested heavily in its tourism infrastructure with a world-class international airport, a reliable public transport system like the MyCity bus service, and a wide range of attractions. From the V&A waterfront to Table Mountain and Robben Island, the city offers a unique experience for every kind of traveler. Getting around the city is relatively easy thanks to a well-developed transport network. Cape Town International Airport connects the city to major destinations across Africa and the world. Within the city, there is a network of highways that connect the different suburbs. For public transport, the MyCity Bus rapid transit system provides a modern and efficient way to travel between the city center, the Atlantic seaboard, and the surrounding areas. There is also a commuter rail system, although it faces more challenges. This combination of a busy port, diverse industries, booming tourism, and solid infrastructure makes Cape Town a powerful economic force. Education is a big deal in Cape Town. The city is home to some of the top universities in Africa. The University of Cape Town, or UCT, is probably the most famous. It's consistently ranked as the best university on the continent and is known for its beautiful campus, perched on the slopes of Devil's Peak. It attracts students and researchers from all over the world. Then there is Stellenbosch University, located in the nearby Winelands, which is another highly respected institution, particularly known for its research in agriculture and its beautiful historic town. The Cape Peninsula University of Technology, or CPUT, also plays a vital role, providing career-focused education to thousands of students. When it comes to healthcare, Cape Town is also a leader. The city has a mix of public and private hospitals that offer a high standard of care. Groote Schuur Hospital is perhaps the most famous hospital in the world. Why? Because it's where the world's first successful human heart transplant was performed by Dr. Christiaan Barnard in 1967. This groundbreaking event put Cape Town on the global map for medical innovation. Today, the hospital is still a major teaching hospital for UCT and provides care to thousands of people. The city's private hospitals are also known for their excellent facilities and specialists, serving both local residents and international visitors. Culturally, Cape Town is bursting with things to see and do. There are countless museums that explore the city's rich and complex past. The District 6 Museum tells the powerful story of the community that was destroyed during apartheid. The Iziko South African Museum has fascinating exhibits on natural history and archaeology. Robben Island is now a UNESCO World Heritage Site and a living museum where former political prisoners give tours and share their experiences. For art lovers, the Zeitz Museum of Contemporary Art Africa, or MoCA, is a must-see. It's the largest museum of contemporary African art in the world, housed in a stunningly converted grain silo at the waterfront. And let's not forget about sports. Capetonians are passionate about sports. Rugby is almost a religion here, and the local team, the Stormers, draws huge crowds to the Cape Town Stadium. Cricket is another massive sport, and the picturesque Newlands Cricket Ground with Table Mountain as its backdrop is considered one of the most beautiful cricket grounds in the world. Soccer is also incredibly popular, especially in the townships. The city also hosts major international events like the Cape Town Cycle Tour, the largest time cycling race in the world, and the Two Oceans Marathon, a grueling but scenic ultra-marathon. There's always a game to watch or an event to participate in.